Bonnie and Clyde. Why did their love end in gunfire? Opening, May 23rd, 1934. May 23rd, 1934. A quiet rural road in Louisiana. The morning air hangs heavy. Dust drifts lazily across the empty highway. There are no witnesses. Just a broken-down truck parked along the roadside, and hidden in the nearby brush. 6 armed lawmen lying in wait. They are not hunting a gang. They are hunting 2 people, a man and a woman. Moments later, the low growl of a Ford V8 engine coots through the silence. A black car appears in the distance. It rolls slowly down the road. Behind the wheel, Clyde Barrow. Beside him, Bonnie Parker. They do not know it yet. But this road is the end of their story. The car slows, and suddenly, the woods explode. Gunfire, not one shot, dozens. Glass shatters, metal tears apart. The car is ripped open by bullets. 20 seconds. In less than half a minute, more than 130 rounds are fired. Clyde dies in the driver's seat. Bonnie collapses before she can even scream. Their escape is over, but their legend is just beginning. Bonnie and Clyde, the most infamous and strangely romanticized criminal couple in American history. Chapter 1. Bonnie, the girl who wrote poetry. Bonnie Parker was born in Texas in 1910. Her father died when she was young. Her mother raised 3 children alone. They were poor, but Bonnie was bright. She loved school plays. She loved writing poetry. She was small, soft-spoken, and expressive. She dreamed of applause, not gunfire. At 16, she married. The marriage didn't last. Reality rarely protects young romance for long. She moved back in with her mother. Up until that point, there was no reason history would remember her name. Chapter 2. Clyde, the boy who learned anger. Clyde Barrow grew up in poverty in Texas. A small farm, too little money, even fewer opportunities. He learned early that the world was not fair. Petty theft, stolen cars. Escalation came naturally. Eventually arrest, then prison, Eastham State Farm. It was brutal. Hard labor, violence, humiliation. Prison changed him. It taught him 2 things: never be weak and never get caught again. When he was released, he was no longer a reckless boy. He was a man carrying resentment. Chapter 3. When Love Meets Destiny. In 1930, they met at a friend's house. Their eyes locked. The attraction was immediate. Bonnie sensed danger in him, and that danger drew her closer. Days later, Clyde was arrested again. Bonnie waited. She wrote letters. She visited him. She didn't leave. Their relationship became more than love. It became shared fate. They would rise together, or fall together. Chapter 4. A nation in collapse America in the 1930s was breaking apart. The Great Depression. Banks failed. Families lost homes. Savings disappeared overnight. Anger built quietly across the country, and often that anger pointed at banks. That was when Bonnie and Clyde began to move. Fast. Their weapon of choice, the Ford V8, faster than most police vehicles. They robbed small banks and rural stores. They were never rich, but newspapers turned them into symbols, daring outlaws, young lovers on the run, and in desperate times, people craved stories. Chapter 5. The Photograph. That changed everything. In 1933, police raided one of their hideouts. Inside, they found photographs. Bonnie holding a cigar, grinning with a gun in her hand. Clyde leaning casually against a stolen car. Defiant, playful, fearless. The images spread nationwide. Suddenly they weren't just criminals, they were characters. But the truth was darker. They had already killed. They would kill again. Still, the public chose the fantasy, because fantasy feels better than hunger. Chapter 6. Life on the Run. But running is not romantic. They slept in cars. They trusted no one. They stayed nowhere for long. Bonnie suffered severe burns in a car accident. Walking became painful. Clyde grew more tense, more reactive. Encounters with police often ended in gunfire. Survival replaced thrill, and survival hardens people. Love in constant fear is not poetic. It is exhausting. Chapter 7. The Man Who Would Not Quit. Texas Ranger Frank Hammer. Quiet, patient, relentless. He didn't see legends, he saw targets. For months, he studied their patterns, tracked relatives, pressured contacts, and eventually, he found someone willing to cooperate. Betrayal rarely comes from strangers, it comes from those closest to you. Chapter 8. The final 20 seconds, May 23rd, 1934. Bonnie and Clyde drive down a rural Louisiana road. They see a truck stopped ahead. It looks harmless. Clyde slows down. That's when the guns rise from the trees. No warning, no arrest attempt, immediate execution. Gunfire shreds the silence. 20 seconds. That's all it takes. Bonnie is struck over 20 times. Clyde dies instantly. The car becomes a coffin of twisted steel and blood. The chase that defined their lives ends on a dusty road. Finale. Why did they become legends? Bonnie and Clyde were not heroes. They murdered at least 13 people. They left fear behind them. So why are they remembered differently? Because timing matters. The Great Depression, national anger, lost hope. They appeared to challenge the system. In reality, they were shaped by it. Bonnie once wrote in a poem, "Someday they'll go down together." She was right. Love did not save them. But their story survived the bullets. They didn't change the world. They didn't defeat the banks. But in one of America's darkest eras, they gave people something cinematic, a story. And sometimes, a story lasts longer than gunfire.